Speak on the Thunderbolts, baby. Now, look, this movie comes out in a couple of days, okay? And I think at this point, it's pretty obvious that there's not a lot of hype and buzz for the film. And this is despite some really, I think, good marketing from Marvel Studios. And I thought that doing the fan event last week was a really good move. And I think it did create a lot of interesting buzz. People are excited about, you know, the post-credit scene in the film itself. But it still kind of seems like there's just not a lot of hype for it. We're really going to have to wait and see how this thing performs. Now, the main narrative, because what happened last night, guys, was they had the premiere of this thing, okay? They had the world premiere, a bunch of the actors out there. Kevin Feige was out there, which is interesting because they're literally shooting Doomsday, so I thought maybe he wouldn't be able to make it, but he's out there. Everybody's out there. And a lot of press screenings had already happened. Like, this movie, as opposed to a lot of other Marvel movies, was put out there a lot by the studio. They're very confident in the movie. They feel very good about it. Now, look, not everybody loves the movie. There are definitely people that don't like it for whatever reason. And we'll go through some of the reviews here in a second. But the majority of people really like this movie. You know, you would be foolish to use the minority opinion to argue against the majority opinion. Like, that's just silly, right? Like, that would be like taking the exception and trying to argue against the generality. That's just like a very silly thing to do. There are, of course, people that don't like the movie, but the majority of people do. I'm not exactly sure when the Rotten Tomatoes score will come out. I think it's like today, though. I could be mistaken on that. Somebody in chat, please check me. But I think it's today. And we're going to get those numbers probably in this afternoon start, and then we'll see what the aggregate is. But a lot of people expect the Thunderbolts to be in the high 80s or 90s. That's just what it looks like. It really does look like the thing's going to do well on Rotten Tomatoes, and people are going to be very kind to it in the reviews. So let's take a second here. Because people just saw it last night and they're talking on social media, let's go through some of the reviews here. We'll try to find some negative ones. We'll go through, I think, a lot of positive ones. And then I will speak a little bit more just about the conclusions that I think this film and its performance will mean for Marvel Studios or the Marvel brand, okay? So Nico here says, she needs to be... Okay, hang on. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Thunderbolts reviews. Nico says, Thunderbolts is pretty damn good. Great pacing, a tight script, and effective messaging. The movie really tries to say something about mental health, loneliness, and depression. I really felt... I really connected with it. Florence Pugh is an absolute star. Also, a banger of an ending. Review tomorrow. That's pretty interesting. You don't really often hear that, right? Banger of an ending. So that's cool. And obviously, Nico's very positive on the movie. This guy was very positive on it. So Leo Rydell says, yo, Thunderbolts surpassed my expectations. Marvel dug deep into darker themes with an emotional vulnerability that I hadn't felt in these films in a while. Excellent action scenes paired with stunning performances. Florence Pugh takes the cake. Thunderbolts was great. So yeah, definitely loving it. Says it surpassed his expectations. I wonder how that vibe will be matched with other people, right? Because I think there's sort of a dual thing going on with Marvel and Thunderbolts right now. Like, it's absolutely the case that Marvel Studios has fallen way off and the quality's been bad, you know, in a lot of the movies and a lot of the shows. But it's also the case that the narrative on Thunderbolts is that it's very good. Like, that's what has been out there. And so I wonder if people will have their expectations surpassed, you know, because for me personally, like, I'm feeling like it's going to be really good. It would have to be like really good, like maybe top 10, top 5 MCU for me to have my expectations surpassed. I wonder if that'll happen. We'll see. By the way, yes, there are leaks for the post-credit scene. They're being taken down and stuff right now. We did a video about it. You know, at this point, like, we'll just wait and watch it. But let's keep going here, see if we can get some other reviews here. Griffin Schiller, he liked it the first time, but let's check this out. Says, yeah, Thunderbolts slaps just as hard on rewatch. These might not be the heroes we deserve, but they're the ones Marvel needs right now. Clever humor with an immense heart. Jake Schreier lovingly shepherds in a whole new band of misfits in a film about rediscovering passion and purpose in the unlikeliest of places, about embracing the emptiness, the eternity of yourself, even the darkness, and order to be whole playing like a brilliantly cathartic self-reflection of the studio that's well aware they've lost a step. A monumental win for the MCU. I mean, look, I'm picking up what he's setting down. I appreciate it, and I think that that's like, he obviously really loves it. And, you know, Griffin is a guy that's more of like a cinephile than a fan, right? We've talked about his opinions and stuff on other things. He's a big fan of Andor, some of these other things. So, look, I get what he's saying, and he's kind of like trying to make a point. My thing, though, is I think the jury's still out on this. I don't know that everything he's saying will be appreciated by the masses. That's the whole question, right? So, like, you know, very high praise, but does any of that connect with like the average moviegoer that wants a good time? We're gonna see. Okay, Meg. I like Meg. Here's what she says here. Thunderbolts has taken me by complete surprise. Showcasing flawed heroes working through their darkest moments. It's refreshing to see this franchise treat mental illness properly, not for jokes. Each misfit gets their own moment of shine, but Pugh absolutely steals the show. I mean, that's high praise, and you know, I think Meg, I don't know too much of like her thoughts on all sorts of movies and stuff, but I know she's a bit of a harsh critic. I know she liked a lot of the more mature, darker Zack Snyder stuff, as opposed to some of the sillier Marvel stuff, so that could be kind of wading into her opinion there, but it's still... It's cool to have another person, another critic that's like surprised by the film. You know, pretty cool. Let's keep going here. Okay, Zach Pope here says Thunderbolts isn't just another comic book movie. It's a raw reflection on depression, inner demons, and the search for self-worth. Hard-hitting, relatable with stellar action standout performances. Pullman and Pugh are great. One of the MCU's best, puts us on the right course. Man, I just continue to see, because like it's so interesting that this movie's coming out as Andor is airing, right? And you know, I have my opinions on Andor, but I'm pretty confident it's not doing well, and it's not connecting with a lot of Star Wars fans. I guess the question is, does all of this stuff that a lot of people are praising, does that matter at all? Is that going to connect with the average moviegoer? Like, let me just ask you, chat. Does any of this, is this doing it for you? Like, are you like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah, appropriate use of depression? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just wondering, like, is that doing it for you? Is that something that you find appealing? Or is it maybe the case that it actually has a message? And so maybe, like, that's cool, like the authenticity, as opposed to, you know, Daredevil Born Again and Captain America, terrible fucking movie. Like, those movies seem so inauthentic and fluffy that like maybe it's just cool to have like an actual North Star and a driving force for a movie. But yeah, I don't know. Like that's to me not really that exciting. You know, like, oh shit, depression. Like I'm so miserable right now. This is awesome. I don't know. We'll see though. I see some back and forth in chat. Yeah, I see some back and forth in chat. I think there's people on both sides. Okay, so let's talk about this guy here. Dio, who is this guy? One of the best MCUs by a landslide. Brilliant story and character moments. This is made with love. It steps up big things to come in the exciting way since 2002. That's probably like the post-credit stuff. Bring your tissues, but not because it's a sad movie. A lot of people are like, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what that means, but all right, bud. All right. Let's keep going here. Let's try to find it. Can we find a negative review? Does anybody in chat have access to a negative review? Some of the people that didn't like it? Because that could be useful. I like Jenna. Jenna says, Thunderbolts simultaneously broke and healed something in me. Scrappy, with great action and emotional nuance in a way that feels both prescient and like it came from my dreams during the Winter Soldier era. Ooh, I like that. Florence Pugh is a superstar. I screamed during the post-credit scene. All right. Pretty high praise. Pretty high praise there. Oh, here's one. Jeff Snyder says, heard Thunderbolt sucks. Now I'm suited for another. Okay. Not really giving us too much there. And I don't think he did actually watch it. Zero says, I didn't expect Marvel to deliver a movie like Thunderbolts to be phenomenal, emotional, and heart-wrenching. Florence Pugh continues to deliver an amazing performance, making me love Yelena even more. And Louis Pullman's entry was handled perfectly. Performances that hit everyone in the feels. This movie is truly a breath of fresh air that the MCU needed. So much heart poured into it. Thunderbolts is truly an amazing film. Man. look, I can't help but feel like we are reading somewhat of the setup to a joke. And the punchline might very well be that none of this shit matters. I don't know. I'm trying not to be negative here because look, I am actually genuinely excited for the movie. And I think for me, it's like I'm excited for the action and the editing. Like this guy, this editor that they got, he's been sort of speaking about, you know, how unique his style is and how well it worked with the cinematography, the action, the setup. Like I'm more excited for like the MCU aspect of it. I don't know, like a lot of the stuff that people are like a breath of fresh new air. I mean, I guess is that really what we needed? I don't know. I mean, we're gonna see. You know what I mean? We're gonna see. We're gonna find out together. Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's keep going here though. See if we can find any others. Eric Goldman says, I love Thunderbolts. It's really a fun movie about something really damaged people and included some aspects that were notably impactful and emotional. Centering it around Yelena is a great call because Florence Pugh is such an empathetic, relatable performer. Okay, yeah, that feels right. Let's see here what Andrew says. Thunderbolts captures that genuine early MCU magic of seeing a bunch of larger-than-life characters unite for a cause greater than themselves. So refreshing to see superhero blockbusters that put emotion over action. See, like, I don't like that. I'm sorry, I don't. But it still knows how to create imaginative set pieces. Okay, sick. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm mixed on some of these reviews. I didn't actually expect this. Let's see here. Sammy here says, Thunderbolts is absolute cinema. As emotionally resonant as it is entertaining, the thematic element of self-worth delivers. Florence Pugh should be the face of the MCU. She's the heartbeat and pulse. Yelena Belova will forever be beloved. Love the dynamic between the misfits. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's just read a couple of more here. Let's see here. Wendy Lee says, absolutely love Thunderbolts. The dynamic between these characters is something I've been looking forward to the most. And this movie delivered on all fronts. Action scenes are fantastic. I love how it peels back the layers of mental health and inner demons. Go see this opening day. Oh, man. Okay. So, I think, frankly, the question that I have is probably the question about the movie. It's the defining question of the audience, the studio, the tactics, this moment in time. I guess we're going to find out if the audience appreciates and values some of these things that this movie is being praised for or not. You know? And look, at the end of the day, I would argue somewhat of the identity of the future of Marvel is somewhat at stake with this film. Because this is, by all accounts, the first movie, maybe the only movie from the past several years that nailed the Marvel formula with a new creative team. Brings in a new creative team, meshes well within the system, and finds a unique voice for what the characters in the film is going to be. And it does seem really anchored in this mental health issue and in the way that ties all of the characters together in their shared struggle. And it seems like that's a really important aspect of it. I guess for me, the issue is this movie has all B and C list characters, you know, and I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, but man, I was talking to my barber about this, you know, super normie guy, and he doesn't even think Bucky is like an A-list. He's like, Bucky's not even A-list or B-list. He's like, I don't even, like, who's Bucky? And that's when it really hit me, where I was like, damn, dude, outside of our bubble, people do not care about these characters. Like, this is not a draw for people. So can the ragtag group and the mental health issues that they all have, can that actually be the draw? Like, is that actually going to put butts in seats? I don't know, man. We're going to find out. We're going to find out together. I think for me, I'm anticipating the movie being really good and being really fun, but I also think there's a version of this movie that could be well executed, totally self-confident, know exactly what it wants to be, and execute on what it wants to do perfectly, and just not be my preferred flavor. You know? I love deep characters. I love character moments, and I think for me, it's a lot of the little moments in Infinity War and Endgame that make the movie pull together. It's little character moments that have been placed and set up throughout stories of 10 years of movies, etc. And those are really the juice. But at the same time, it's the juice because it's big characters. And if you look at Doomsday, and we're going to talk about Doomsday in a little bit because there's crazy rumors out there. If you look at Doomsday, you're looking at 20 to 40 A-list characters and actors. So, like, again, a completely different, and you will have these Thunderbolts characters, right? They're going to be a part of that too. But I'm talking about 20 plus, possibly in the ballpark of 40 B+, A-, and all the way up to A+ level of popular Marvel characters and actors. So it is like a completely different thing. It's a completely different world. And it's like, okay, so Marvel obviously knows that's a good thing and that'll create a draw. And like the Avengers movie is the place to do that. What Thunderbolts will either prove or disprove is, can the studio continue to do C and B level characters in big movies? You know what I mean? Like, is that still viable? I don't think it is, actually. You know what I mean? But we're going to find out. We're going to find out together. Thunderbolts could be a movie that's incredible and that we want more of. But if it still doesn't like commercially succeed, then I don't think there's evidence that that's the right direction to go. Right? So, pretty interesting. People kind of, I don't know, like, I guess for me, and I would love to know what you guys think about this, and we'll get into Q&A later. I don't know if I've ever felt less hype, not just personally, but just in general for a Marvel movie. I do not feel any hype out there for Thunderbolts, like zero. And that's a little strange. So I wonder if you guys feel the same way. Are you seeing the hype? Am I not seeing it? Am I missing it? I don't think it looks good. I don't think it looks good. I mean, I think the movie looks good. I don't think the situation looks good. You know what I mean? Thanks for watching. And if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.